Friends, I want to talk to you now about our structure here at New Life. We've talked about our statements, talked about our strategy. Let's look at our structure. That is, how are we formed here? What way are we organized in order to make people live a better story? What way are we structured to do that? I think this is one of the questions I get asked a lot when it comes to membership. How do we govern this local church? Let me quickly walk you through this. The leadership structure of New Life is done through teams. I want you to hear that. We see ourselves as a team. I like to see myself as a coach that coaches the team. I'm sort of the guy that's in the center of all the other circles, and you're going to see that come up on your screen here in just a moment. I don't run things from top down. I like to run things from the inside out. That's the type of leader I am. So I see myself more as a coach in coaching various team members. Now, we start with the first team, and that's the New Life Official Board. I want to talk to you about the way that we're structured here. New Life Church is what's called a General Council Assemblies of God Church. What I mean by that, when I say General Council, that means we are a self-governing body of believers, but we are submitted to and we are accountable to the national office in the Assemblies of God in Springfield, Missouri. And because we are submitted to them, we are governed by an official board right here at New Life, and they are elected by the New Life congregation at an annual business meeting. And later on, you can look at that in your constitution and bylaws and see how all of that process is played out. But that's the way that we are structured here. You ask me, well, Pastor, who are you accountable to? I'm accountable to the New Life Board, and we together are accountable to the Assemblies of God in Springfield, Missouri. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm accountable to the district superintendent in Ohio, and then from there we're accountable to the national office. So that's sort of the accountability structure that's set up there. I want you to know that, and I say this to you. I said it in our opening, but I want to say it to you again. There's nothing hidden here. This is not a church where we try to hide the money or try to hide financial statements and all that kind. We don't do any of that. We're wide open. When people have questions, they want to call and set up an appointment. We're wide open to talk to people about anything they have a question about. So you need to know that if you're going to be a member here at New Life. Now, let's get into the leadership structure as far as the way we do ministry here. I think I said this already. If I haven't, I'll say it again. I don't like to lead from you've seen these charts that are like a hierarchical chart where there's this guy way up here on the top, and then all of these boxes break out down below him, and everybody is submitted to him. And I understand that, and that's fine for whoever wants to lead like that. But as you can see now, this screen that's coming up on this chart that is coming up on your screen, you'll see what we call the first level team. This first level team is our leadership team. These are the key staff and key leaders who help oversee and develop the ministry model of New Life. Now, as you can see there on your screen, some of them are paid staff, some of them are volunteers. And so you will see here that I'm in the middle, and around me there are other circles of various ministries. You will see the worship team and pastor that leads the worship team. You'll see the children's ministry team and the pastor that leads that team. You'll see the hospitality crew and the person that leads that team. And so these are our leadership teams, our first level team. And then on the next slide, you'll see what's called the second level team. That's when we start getting into our team members. Some churches call them volunteers. And that's fine if you want to use that term. We call them team members here at New Life. And these are those who actually implement the plan and the strategy of the leadership team. So they begin to oversee the next level. That's our second level team. And you'll see how that begins to break out. For example, you'll see in our hospitality team right there on your screen how now that's expanded from one circle to the next circle. And then you'll see it expand now on this next slide to our third level team. And these are the volunteers under each one of those leaders. Where, let's say, our hospitality team leader, he is responsible for leading our ushers, our greeters, our security team, our information desk, our coffee team and cafe team. And each one of those have a team leader. You say, why do you lead things like this? Why do you structure it like this rather than the old-fashioned way of the big, top-down chart? Why do you have these cells? Well, here's why. I believe as we expand and we continue to multiply, each team member provides care and ministry to one another. So to me, it's not just a structure. It is more of a care for one another. For example, again, on your screen, you see that the hospitality leader, he is responsible for the team leaders in his area. So he may not talk to our security team leaders, volunteers, or team members, but he'll talk to them. In other words, they are accountable to him. So you don't have, as the church grows, there's no way I could know, out of 600 people that are here now, and later on, I don't know how many that this video will say, but for now, let's just say out of 600 people, there's no way I can know about everything that's going on in this church all at one time. So what this structure does is it multiplies, and it breaks down every staff member and team leader, and then their team leader, and then their team leader is responsible for all of their leaders. And then it just keeps breaking down and down. That way everybody's getting care. And that's the way we do pastoral care. That's the way we disciple people here at New Life. And so that's sort of the structure of our church. I want to refer you to the next page there in your notes. And that is our New Life Assembly of God Constitution and Bylaws. Now, whenever you have a lot of time on your hands and you want to do a lot of reading, you can go through with a fine-tooth comb, go through our Constitution and Bylaws. I like to refer to this as the manual, the playbook for New Life Church. So what does a Constitution and Bylaws do? They simply tell you how we govern this church. They talk about the qualifications that the pastor must have, the qualification for membership, the qualification for board members, on and on. So you have all the information that you need. There are many, many pages here that you can look through, the Constitution and Bylaws. Feel free to email us if you have any questions about that. And that, my friend, is how New Life Church is structured.